If you struggle with making unique melodies because you don't know the music theory, then listen up. You actually don't need to know scales or spend hours on making the perfect chord progression. There is an easier way. And today I'm going to show you how to make crazy industry-ready melodies from scratch using a simple 3-step process. And the best part, no music theory is required. So without talking your ears off, let's get right into it. The easiest way to make melodies without music theory, use pre-made high-quality chord progressions. That way you don't need to guess the notes and you already have a strong base from the beginning. And today I want to go for something very ambient and emotional. So let's open up Contact. Today I'm going to use the Noir bank, but sometimes I also use this one. This is also very fire, but today I want to have something more clean. So let's go into Noir and let's go to Grand Piano and then to Smooth and Deep. This is probably my favorite preset in this bank. And yeah, then let's go into the Melody Fragments Kit. Let's go to piano phrases, to MIDI files. Then let's just drag the first one in. That actually sounds pretty fire. I want to speed up the BPM actually, so let's maybe set it to 144. This is a very good BPM for any trap beat. I feel like it's perfect for a good rhythm and bounce to flow on. And the next thing I recommend you to do is to find out the key. In this case, it's actually given, so it says it's in C minor. But if we go to this arrow up here, then go to View and then go to C minor, then we already see it's only in the white notes, so the ones that are in the scale, and now we can work from it. I actually want to add a note, I think, in the second part. I think it sounds better if we add this. Just try it out. This is also a thing you can do. If you got a MIDI progression like this, you know it's industry ready, and then you can just try around and adjust it a bit. So let's see how that one sounds. Yeah, that's cool. And because we don't only want to have a piano loop, I want to add a guitar phrase. So let's get back into the Melody Fragments Kit and then let's go to guitar phrases. And then let's just look around. As I said, I want to have more like something ambient instead of something very melodic and bouncy. Yeah, this one should fit. Let's try it out. So let's drag this pattern in and then let's drag this phrase in. And as you can see, it's not lined up, so we gotta adjust the time. So set this to auto, or you can also set it to stretch, and then let's adjust the time so it lines up here. And also, as I said, we are in C minor, so we gotta pitch it up 100 cents. So now this is also in C minor, since this is in B minor right now. So let's see if it fits. I think it's a bit loud. Sounds really strong, but I want to make it sound a bit more clean. So let's route it to a mixer insert real quick. And then let's add an EQ because it's very wide. Because we want to have some room for the vocals later, I want to cut out some frequencies real quick. Also, let's make it a bit more mono. So let's set this to around here maybe. And right now the piano sounds a bit cheap, but hold up, I got a very cool trick on how you can make your pianos sound like they are actually recorded with a real piano. But before that, let's come to the vocal. Vocals are actually something different. I love to add vocals to my samples because they deliver so much character into a loop and also make the hit potential way bigger than just a plain loop with guitars and pianos. So let's go back into the Melody Fragments Kit, and this time I want to go to vocal phrases and then let's see if we can find something.
Shadows dance waves. You took me home back. Now I'm here, the same as I was before.
Now I think I'm gonna add this one also because we don't have to pitch it that much since it is already at C sharp minor, so we only gotta pitch it down 100 cents. So let's drag this one in, and also the BPM almost matches, so let's set it to auto again. I actually like to set it to auto instead of to stretch because it sounds a bit cleaner. Adjust the time so it lines up here and also pitch it down, of course.
Now I'm here. before. Not a single one of you is here. You weren't there when I was in the dark. I'm the one who's winning, and you aren't here when you really think about it.
Yeah, as I said earlier, it gives so much character into a sample, so I highly recommend you to add vocals to your loops. Not only for emotional, but also for dark samples. And right now the vocal sounds a bit dry, so let's add some effects to it. First, route it to a channel real quick. And I always actually start with adding an EQ. No matter what sound, it's just a habit.
Not a single one of you is here.
And then some delay, and a trick that I already mentioned in another video is to sidechain your reverb and your delay. And to do that, you just gotta go to the insert which you want to sidechain, and then right click on this arrow on another insert, then choose route to this track, and then add the effects that you want to add. In my case, it's this delay. Let's set it to the normal setting that I always use. And then I want to add some reverb, and for that I want to go into Effect Rack and choose the Crystal Choir preset, and then set the pitch knob to 0 cents. And then to sidechain those effects, you gotta open up Fruity Limiter, go to Compression, then right click this sidechain box right here, and then choose the insert where it comes from, and then turn down the threshold knob almost all the way, the ratio knob all the way up, and then you can check if it sounds good.
You weren't there when I was in the dark. I'm the one who's winning.
That sounds pretty solid. And now, as I said, I want to show you the trick that I always use to make my piano sound more realistic. And it's very simple. You just gotta play it through your speakers, hold your phone in front of it, and then record it. And I did that, and after it sounded like this. As you can see, you just get that real analog and vintage kind of sound, and I really like to do that, especially for these emotional kind of samples. So to make it sound really good, let's route it to an insert real quick, and then I just drag and drop this piano preset that I always use, which will also be in an upcoming kit. And then with the vocals and the guitars, it sounds like this.
Now I'm here, the same as I was before. Not a single one of you is here.
And to finish this sample off, I want to add one more thing, and that's, as always, bass. And that's very easy because we already know the bass line because we used the MIDI. So first, let's load up a bass, and for that I want to go into Contact and then the Scarby Rickenbacker bass, and then I always choose this preset right here. I really like it. And now let's go into the MIDI of the piano, and then we just copy the bass line, the root notes, and paste it into the bass piano roll.
Not a single one of you is here.
And if you also want to make fire melodies faster without overthinking notes and chords, then use this method. Start with great chords, add a top line and some vocals. And to make this even easier, I put together 100 handcrafted piano, guitar and vocal phrases for you. So you can just drag and drop them and have industry-ready melodies instantly. So click the first link in the description down below and check out the Melody Fragments Phrase Kit. And if you like this video, drop a comment, a like, and I'll see you in the next one.